right. So, piggybacking off my video from yesterday, where we talked about religious liberty, there comes this article. Parents looking for an alternative to Christian instruction settle on Satan. Which, if you remember from yesterday, isn't exactly teaching about Satan. But anyway, let us continue with the article. Parents in a school district in Ohio are celebrating the arrival of Satan this holiday season in the form of the Hellion Academy of Independent Learning, or HAIL, an alternative to Christian release time programs mandated by school districts. Hopefully that's even. Release time, dating in the U.S. from the early 20th century, carves out a period during the school day for religious instruction and has experienced a revival in recent years. Okay, I seem that does not center me at all. Okay, now I'm centered. But a group of parents in Marysville, Ohio wasn't happy with the mandated, overwhelmingly Christian instruction, so they sought out an alternative. The Satanic Temple offered up their all-hail solution, which is not the same as the Church of Satan. These are two different churches. There's the Satanic Temple and there's the Church of Satan. But both of them are very much not Satan worshippers. The group calls itself a non-theistic church and is recognized by the IRS with a religious exemption. Their self-stated mission is to promote pluralism among religious views, empathy, and the rejection of tyrannical authority. We aren't trying to shut the LifeWise Academy down, June Everett, an ordained minister with the temple, told Cleveland.com. But I do think a lot of school districts don't realize when they open the door for one religion, they open it for all of them. Of course not, because for many school districts and many people, there is only one religion, and it never occurs to them. Like in yesterday's video, the Republican who lost his mind about the Church of Satan having a Christmas display, and that's not religious liberty, is of the mindset that the only religious liberty there is Christianity. So for a lot of people, they want religious instruction because to them, there's only one religious instruction, and that's Christianity. And many times a particular branch of Christianity, not even any type of Christianity. So, but yeah, once you say that you can offer religious instruction, well, you're just opening it up for all religious instruction. So, and to be honest, what is an atheist supposed to do during this structured religious instruction time? I mean, is it sort of like the kid who didn't get their parents' permission to go on a field trip and you're just, sitting in study hall for 2 hours? I don't even know what, or did they just expect that all students who had this structured time, that all students would go to a single place? The Satanic Temple made headlines last week when it unveiled a Mephistophelian holiday display in Minnesota's Capitol building and another in Concord, New Hampshire, testing the First Amendment guarantees of religious freedom. The Satanic Temple and the Church of Satan are two different organizations. So either this person is confused or I missed something. But last I checked, they're two different organizations. Now, I think I might have missed something. No, I don't think I did. All right. Now, last year at Christmas, the group sponsored a student-launched Satan Club at a high school in Kansas and also famously installed a 7-foot-tall bronze Baphomet statue depicting a satanic winged man with a goat's head on the steps of the Arkansas Capitol to challenge the installation of Ten Commandments Monument in 2018. Yeah, all sounds perfectly reasonable to me. I mean, either you accept that not everyone is Christian, or you just let it be a private thing, and if people want to have private instruction, they can go to a private school, which makes perfect sense. And if you're dealing with a public square, well, again, not everybody is Christian. So you should allow for other religious displays. Sounds reasonable to me. The popularity of LifeWise has coincided with a conservative backlash over woke culture, unprecedented book bans, and school boards embroiled in conflict over parents' rights. And first off, nobody who decries someone being woke can actually explain what that means. What does it mean to be woke? Usually people who decry it have no clue what woke means. It just basically means anything they don't like, which is literally not what it means. It originated I believe it was in Black culture, actually, where they were just using it to emphasize that to be woke means to acknowledge that racism exists and that you should be better than being racist. So, yeah, when people decry people being woke, that basically screams, I want to be allowed to be racist without actually being punished for being racist. Because somehow, everybody else should have consequences to their speech except for me. Or something. Unprecedented book bans. There have been a lot of book bans, and that coincides with the anti-woke coalition, because apparently we should only learn about things that certain people are comfortable with, as opposed to accepting that not everybody in the world looks and thinks like you, or acts like you, or whatever it is that you have a problem with. And as far as parents' rights go, well, it's interesting how parents' rights people are screaming at the top of their lungs about parents' rights until that parent doesn't agree with your viewpoint. Say they actually want to help their trans child, or their gay child or whomever it happens to be, and that they don't agree that they should be smothered to death, and work to make sure that trans and anyone in the LGBT plus community ceases to exist. Suddenly nobody cares about those parents' rights. No, the only parents' rights we care about are the rights to be bigots. So there is that. At least one school board in Ohio rescinded permission for the program after concerned parents protested. Catholics as well have complained that their congregation have been overlooked as LifeWise has made Christian instruction the release time default. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That, it's all well and good for Christians to beat their chest that they want religious instruction in public schools, that they want Christian instruction in public schools. Okay, now, even if everybody in that town in that school was Christian, that doesn't mean they're the same denomination. So, of course, there are going to be parents who are going to be peeved that their kids are being forced to have an instruction that isn't of their religious belief. So, it doesn't even have to be someone of a completely different religion. Because if all Christians agreed, we wouldn't have hundreds of denominations of Christianity. We believe all families should have the opportunity to choose religious instruction during school hours, said LifeWise founder Penton, and we trust parents to make the best choice for their children. Okay, so does that mean that you are willing to give religious instruction in every religion? Or what do parents do with their kids who aren't part of this instruction? And let's be honest, peer pressure is a thing. Kids might feel pressured to go with the rest of the kids, go with their friends, even if it's not something they believe in, because they don't want to be different, because being a kid sucks and they just want to be like everybody else. They want to be like their friends. I mean, once you become an adult, you realize that no, this actually really blows to follow what everybody else is doing just because it's what everybody else is doing. But when you're a kid, I'm sure there are some kids who have no problem being their own person and not worrying about what others think. That's not a lot of kids. A lot of kids, if they don't fit a certain mold, it really does a number on their psyche. So, yeah. Even if you say that, parents should, choose for their kids, that's all well and good. But if that kid sees all their friends going to this particular religious instruction, that's not going to feel great. It's like I said, the kid who didn't get parental permission or couldn't pay the fees to go on a field trip. Okay, yeah, that does suck. And that kid is going to be sitting there, and yes, they might have alternate programming for such kids, but still, that affects the child. They're going to feel crappy for not being able to join their friends. Or, unless it's a field trip that they thought was really, really lame and didn't want to go anyway. So there's always that. But for the most part, kids want to be with their friends. And even if they don't give a crap about the field trip, they use it as a chance to socialize. They don't like to be different. So you can say that um that that parents should be able to choose religious study. Great. What about the parents who are not your brand of Christian? Are you basically saying that they're not allowed to have religious instruction because they don't agree with whatever LifeWise is? First off, like I said, if you want to give your kids religious instruction, last I checked, Sunday school is a thing. Number 2, go to private school. If religious instruction in school really means that much to you, go to private school. In a lot of school districts, you can get vouchers. Now, do I agree with being able to use public funds to give parents vouchers? No, I don't. However, they exist because not everybody can afford private schools. So, or make this, instead of during the school day, make it an extracurricular. Some people board the bus to go to a football game. Some people board the bus to go to religious instruction. As opposed to, because once it's the end of the school day, nobody can say that this is violating the separation of church and state, because the school day is done. So if they want to go to church or wherever these religious instructions are being held, that's fine. They're no longer on school grounds. It's after school hours. That's fine. But this idea that we're going to take a couple of hours out of the school day when kids could be, I don't know, actually learning basic subjects, let's take them to get religious instruction that they could easily get other places, in their church. Like I said, Sunday school exists. I'm sure there are other student groups, whether it be extracurricular activities and clubs at the school, or whether it be out of your church or synagogue or temple, or wherever you go for that. But it's kind of hard to say, parents have the right to choose, and they only get to choose one option. It's either don't get religious instruction or get this particular religious instruction that they may or may not believe in. So, yeah. Ideally, this would not be in schools at all. But if you're going to have it, at least give options for more than just one type of belief. So anyway, that is all I have for this article. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.